Okay, this is all in one take. I'm not cutting any of this shit. Okay. My name. I have many names. um, some of you call me Saucy Salmon. Some of you call me Bean Bun Bill. Some of you call me Will. Regardless of all that flim flam hoo ha, this is the Spirit the Horse script. Spirit, Stallion of the Cimarron. First lines as the eagle flies in the sky by horse clouds, canyon, and forest. Spirit, narrating. The story that I want to tell you cannot be found in a book. They say the history of the West was written from the saddle of a horse, but it's never been told from the heart of one. Not till now. I was born here in this place that would come to be called the Old West, but to my kind, the land was ageless. It had no beginning and no end, no boundary between the earth and the sky. Like the wind and the buffalo grass, we belonged here. We would always belong here. The geyser continues sprouting. Spirit continues narrating. They say the Mustang is the spirit of the West. Whether that West was won or lost, in the end you'll have to decide for yourself, but the story I want to tell you is true. I was there, and I remember. I remember the sun in the sky and the wind calling my name, in a time when wild horses ran free. The horses start running by water and grass, with the horse sleeping. Then they all look at the horse, breathing. Then young Spirit lays down. Then they all whinny, then sniffing, then looking at a horse, then whinnying at the horse, then licking young Spirit, then hugging, then playing with the horse, then looking at all the horses. Then the horse gets up. Then young Spirit rolls in the grass, then looking at the horses, then looking under, then burping, then running by snow, then sliding down, then putting snow on horses, then looking at trees, then touching the water drop of the icicle, then going to an icicle, looking at a reflection, then licking the icicle with the tongue stuck to it, then trying to get the tongue out of the icicle, then breaking the icicle while holding it on the mouth. Then they all play in the water, then drinking the water, then rumbling. I don't think the person who wrote this English was their native language. Then stops, then looking at a buffalo, then bellowing at young Spirit, then putting the hooves on a buffalo, then running away, then looking at the buffaloes. Then he grows up. Spirit. And so I grew from a colt to stallion, as wild and reckless as thunder over the land, racing with the eagle, soaring with the wind. Flying? There were times I believed I could. He starts tagging the eagle, then jumping over. Like my father before me, I became leader of the Cimarron herd, and with that honor came responsibility. The cougar growls at the horses, then running away, then Spirit appears, then the cougar attacks Spirit, then kicking. Then the cougar gets on Spirit like a piggyback ride, then hitting the cougar, then putting hooves on the ground, then running away, snorting, then the horses joined by Spirit, then they all neigh, then running by the geese, then night with the horses, then eating the flowers, then looking at the horses, playing. Then Spirit appears, then walking away. Then snorting, then they hug, then looking at a comet in the sky, then looking at a fire, then neighing, then snorting, then running at Spirit, then snickering, then they both look at a fire, then whinnying, then neighing warningly, then snickering. Spirit! Something new came upon the land one night, something that would change my life forever. And so my journey began. He looks at the bushes, then looking at a fire, then walking down by the horses, then neighing at Spirit, then coughing with the glass clinking, then he snickers. A wise horse might have turned and ran, but I wanted to know what strange creatures were here. Looking at the people snoring by the campfire, then looking at the boots, then touching the spur of the wheel, then snickering, then putting in the boot, then throwing the boot, hitting the man. Bill. What the? Grabs a boot by hitting the man. Jake. Son of a... Bill. Shh. Whispers. Look. Looks at Spirit. Man, look at that stallion. It's beautiful. He snickers, then licking the bottle, squealing, then yawning, then he grabs a lasso, then snickering, then looking at Joe. Joe. Sadie Mae. He kisses Spirit. He snorts and squeals. Both. He gasps, then neighing, then running away. Joe. Get him, boys. The water dumps in the campfire. Jake. Easy, boy. He neighs. I'm not going to do voices for all of them. I give up. Roy. Come on, boys. Let's go. Bill. Come on, boys. They tie a saddle around the horse. Then going on the saddle, they all run to get Spirit. Man. Hya. Hya. They jump over by the rocks. Where did he go? I don't see him. We'll find him. He bites Joe. Then falling down. Wait. Then falling down while rolling on the grass, then neighing, then the men shout. Man, what the... The horse whinnies, then running away, then looking at the horses, then they all whinny, then the men appear. Man, faster. They whistle and shout, then neighing harshly, then looking at the men, then neighing harshly again, then the horses run away. What? He runs by the horses. Get him. Ha. Come on. Ha. Ha. Get him. Spirit runs by the rocks. Jake. Yeah. 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 Come on. Come on. Come on. He kicks the bottom of the saddle. Spirit continues running. Bill. Haha. We got him now. Jake. Haha. You betcha. Whoa. Spirit climbs up, then they both look at the rocks, then running around. Jake. Look out. Gets off the saddle. Whoa. He runs away by Bill and Jake, then jumping in slow motion when Pete grabs the lasso, squealing, then sliding by the canyon, then falling on the ground, then getting up. Pete, thought you got away, didn't you, Mustang? He neighs harshly, then grabbing another lasso. Man, over here, get back here, you crazy, get back for him. Take him, take him. Joe, get the horse. Grabs another lasso around Spirit, then snarling, he's ours now, woo. The rope strains at the saddle, then snickering, then falling on the ground. Man, hold him, watch the lines, come on, he can do all the kicking he wants now, it won't do no good. The horses look at the men, neighing, then walking down, panting, then grunting, with the rocks clattering, then neighing harshly, then he continues neighing, then sadly neighing while running away, then grunting and clattering. Men, careful, careful, Spirit. I was scared, and I didn't know what was going to happen to me, but at least my mother and the herd were safe. The men with Spirit go to the Old West. Man, come on, let's go. Yo, come on. The music begins while they go to the Old West. By the grass, desert, by the lake with an eagle landing on a branch. Ah yes, the three fucking landmarks of the region known as the Old West. Grass, desert, eagle, lake. I digress. Moving on. then taking Spirit, then looking at the eagle, flying, then they continue taking him to the Old West by Thunder Canyon. Then they arrive at the Old West. Open the gate. I don't is the Old West like I don't know what the Old West is, I guess. Open the gate. He looks at the horse walking down. Then they both close the door. Then they continue pushing the horse, then looking at the men, then neighing, then panicked neighing, with the horses walking in line, then running, then they hear a gun firing, then huffing. What seems to be the problem, gentlemen? We got us a crazy one here, sir. Oh yeah, a colonel said, what seems to be the problem? Soldier, we got us a crazy one here, sir. Man, pure Mustang, Colonel. Colonel, really? The horse whickers. Colonel, to Spirit. The army has dealt with wild horses before. This one will be no different. He chews the stick, I think they mean to say he's chewing some dip, got a fat lip of that dippy Copenhagen. Spits dip. Soldier, come on, Mustang. Spirit, I remember the first time I saw a rattler curled up in my path. Colonel, chuckling while picking up the stick. Induct this animal, Sergeant. Sergeant Adams. Yes, sir. Spirit, this one didn't look like a rattler, but I was still thinking, snake. Sergeant Adams, take up the slack. Soldier, grab 'em. Grab 'em. The soldiers grunt by pushing Spirit. Man, come on, horse. Sergeant Adams. Okay, Murphy, he's all yours. Whoa, he's a wild one. Murphy, chuckling by grabbing a towel. We'll see how wild he is when I'm done with him. Oh, is he gonna sodomize his fucking horse? He tries to cut the rope, then chomping at Murphy. Man, see that? Murphy, you wanna fight, do you? He cuts the mane, then hitting him, screaming in pain, then falling on the ground, then laughing. Right. He snickers, then whinnying curiously. Then they grab the rope by tying him, then straining, then taking a blade, then taking rocks out of the hoof, then hitting Murphy, then groaning, then he whinnies laughter, then they both whinny, then tying the hoof. Murphy, make sure that's good and tight. He whinnies, then hammering on the hoof. Sergeant Adams, Murphy, look out. Man, watch out. The hoof kicks Murphy, groaning, then whinnying laughter. Sergeant Adams, he's a wild one. He grunts and groans. Sergeant Adams, you all right, Murph? He ties Spirit, then putting the fire out, then snickering. Murphy, you. So, quick addendum to everything I've said before. Whenever I say snickering, I meant the word nickering. I didn't want to say that though. I thought I just meant snickering, and nickering sounds like the N-word. It apparently means when a horse gives a hushed, like a, like a breathy whine. So I'll just say nickering from now on. My apologies. You. They both nicker in alarm. Carries a fire at Spirit, chuckling, then taking the mouth out of the bag, then gasping, then hitting Murphy on the ground, groaning. Sergeant Adams, Murph, are you okay? The horse whinny. Sergeant Adams, Corporal, round up some volunteers to, take this animal to the stables. Colonel, not the stables. Sergeant Adams, sir? Colonel, the corral. It's time to break that horse. So they are gonna sodomize him. He snorts, then the music begins, then locking the gate. Make sure it's good and tight. They take everything off of Spirit. Oh, they're just stripping him down. Then putting it on Spirit. Then the men clamor. Then opening the gate. Then riding on Spirit. Then hitting the man. Then spinning around. Then flying to the ground. Then getting up. Okay, officer. Okay, my turn. throws the hat away, then unlocking the gate, then riding by falling to the ground. Man, lousy heap of horse flesh, come on, run out of there. The horse charges the man, then Colonel, then they all laugh. Uh, 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 I'm sorry, I've been trying to burp and it won't come out. Where was I? Oh yeah. Uh, the horse charges the man, then Colonel, then they all laugh, then walking, then spitting, then moving the gate, then the man gets in. Hey, we got a rider. He goes on Spirit, then opening the gate, then jumping in the air, the soldier flying to the man on the ground, then flying with the man again, then flying again, then snorting, then running at the man, then running, then snorting at the Colonel, then nickering harshly, then huffing loudly. Colonel, Sergeant. Sergeant Adams, yes sir. Colonel, tie this horse to the post, no food or water. 3 days. Sergeant Adams, yes sir. Spirit tries to get the rope off, nickering, then trying to get the rope off, then huffing and grunting, then putting the head on the rope on the pole, then at night, with the head on the rope on the pole, then looking at the night sky with the stars. My heart galloped through the skies that night, back to my herd, where I belonged, and I wondered if they missed me as much as I missed them. They all look at the night sky, except Spirit, whinnying, then back at daytime. Soldier, get some water over to the stable. The men consider? The men do shit instinctively. Man, yes sir. He looks at the Colonel, drinking in water, smacking the lips, then dumping the water on the hand, then nickering. Soldier, we caught a hostile. He nickers, then looking at the soldiers bringing Little Creek. Sergeant Adams, bring him back this way. Little Creek yells painfully, then the soldiers laugh. Colonel, well, what do we have here? Soldier, we caught him by the supply wagon, sir. He groans in pain. Colonel, ah, a Lakota. Not as tall as the Cheyenne, not as fine-featured as the Crow. Take him away, gentlemen. Show him our best. The men take Little Creek away. Sergeant Adams, Corporal, take him to the stockades. Colonel, not the stockades, the post. No food or water. The men continue taking Little Creek away, then grunting softly. Then the soldiers murmur. Corporal, come on. He burrs. Corporal, what are you looking at, boy? He grunts. He was Spirit. He was called Little Creek, and he seemed different from the rest. Yeah, probably 'cause he was a fucking Native American, Spirit, you dumb fuck. The soldier puts Little Creek to the ground, laughing, then tying at the post, groaning, then nickering softly. Little Creek, hey, clicks his tongue, then burring like Spirit, then walking away, nickering, then laughing, then trying to get it off again. By hearing a distant howling, then hooting, then nickering and snorting, then hearing a distant howling, then hooting, then he nickers gently, with the sword landing on the ground, startled whinnying. Spirit, there was just no end to the strange ways of the two-leggeds. Geez, fucking, you really gonna do us like that, Spirit? We're fucking, we don't call horses fucking four-leggers. Spirit's a fucking asshole. Fuck you, Matt Damon. Little Creek tries to get the swords by the foot, then hearing a man playing a bugle with reveille, then grabbing the sword by the foot, then mouth by the hand. Sergeant Adams, C Company, 10 Hut. With the Colonel's permission, sir, incoming patrol reports hostiles headed north. Colonel, ah, Sergeant Adams, the railroad has expressed concerns, sir. They have requested additional patrols. Oh, fuck. Colonel, how long has it been, Sergeant? Sergeant Adams, sir? Colonel, the Mustang, how long has it been? Sergeant Adams, 3 days, sir. Colonel, good. Fetch my crop and my spurs. Blows smoke, clinking, then riding the horse around in a circle, then grunting, then neighing. You can break easy? Wait, let me do it. You can break easy or you can break hard, Mustang. No, back up, back up, back up. Spirit neighs harshly. Come on, yeah. You see, I'm doing a whole, like, what's that? You know the one show where, like, that dude gets raped in the forest and they make him squeal like a pig? It's like that. Yeah. Colonel, come on. He clinks, then nickering angrily, then riding the horse. Come on. He rides with the hat off. Come on, come on, come on, come on, Mustang. He rides by the men, with the men clamoring. Ha! The horse continues hitting the walls, then grunting, then neighing by falling on the ground, then panting and chuckling, then panting, with Little Creek looking. You see, gentlemen, any horse can be broken. Move along, Mustang. They hear scattered applause while cheering with Spirit walking. Colonel, there are those in Washington who believe the West will never be settled. The Northern Pacific Railroad will never reach Nebraska. The horse continues panting. A hostile Lakota will never submit to Providence, and it is that manner of small thinking that would say this horse could never be broken. Discipline, time, and patience are the 3 great levelers. Spirit snorting. Sometimes a horse has got to do what a horse has got to do. One time a dude fucked a horse and he died. Colonel, Mustang? Spirit. And this was one of those times. Chomping, then whinnying, then the men clamor, then groaning, then taking apart the saddle by falling to the ground, then they gasp, then looking at Colonel by the eye, nickering, then startled yell, then flying to the ground, then breaking the wall. All. Oh no! The body thuds to the ground by Little Creek, then burring and snorting. Sergeant Adams, you all right, sir? They all pick up a Colonel. Then looking at Spirit. Then getting up. Colonel, get off me. He pants angrily, then neighing loudly. Then they all neigh. Then they continue neighing. So they neigh a lot. Soldier, secure that horse. Takes a gun. Then Little Creek unties the back. Then putting a unites the back. Then putting a gunshot down, echoing. Then Little Creek fights the men. Then picking up Spirit, then running down, breaking the wood, then looking at the man with the gun, then grabbing the gun with the man falling in the hay, then riding by the horses, then running inside, then breaking the gate by joining the horses, then looking at the men closing the gate, then grunting angrily, then nickering, then gasping and grunting by kicking Murphy to the ground. Then they continue riding by leaving the Old West. Spirit. I wasn't sure what happened back there, and I wasn't about to stop and ask. Yeah, you can't. All I knew is that I was headed home. He leave the Old West by Little Creek, howling, then looking at Rain running, by nickering quietly by running with Rain, then getting on Rain while grunting. Rain is a female horse, I'm pretty sure, listener. With effort. Then they all tie up Spirit, laughing. I couldn't believe it. One moment I was free, and the next, ropes. More ropes. He grunts. Cut to the Native American camp, with Spirit looking at the tents, nickering curiously, then walking in the gates, then closing the gates, with Little Creek getting off of Rain, nickering. Little Creek, steady, steady. I'm not going to hurt you, nice and easy. He takes it off by Spirit. There you go. That feels better now, doesn't it? He puts it by the gate, then opening the gate, nickering, then smacking his lips, then the birds chirp, then getting up, then eating an apple, then looking at Rain, burring, then neighing, then snorting, then whinnying, then whistling at Rain, then running at Little Creek, then snorting, then hugging the horse, nickering, then chuckling, then looking at Little Creek. Little Creek, hey, hey, The horse pushes Little Creek, then running at Rain while playing, then grunting, then Little Creek continues running by Rain, then laying down, then snorting, then blowing, then chuckling. Spirit. I couldn't understand it. She treated this scrawny, two-legged like one of our kind, prancing around him. Oh, you fucking, yeah, you know Spirit is fucking a big proponent of this everybody equal. He's a fucking asshole. Like a love-struck yearling. He snorts at Little Creek. Spirit, it was downright unnatural. He burrs. Little Creek takes a blanket. Great Mustang! Today I will ride you. I bet you will, motherfucker. He snorts. Little Creek's friend. This ought to be good. He waves the blanket to Spirit, neighing, and then grunting, then he continues trying to put the blanket on Spirit, then they laugh, then nickering angrily, then grunting away, yelping, then ducking by the gate, then neighing ferociously, then whinnying disapprovingly, then snorting. Spirit! Mares! Little Creek. Okay, Rain, let's see if you can teach this Mustang some manners. The horse nickers, then opening the gate, then snorting curiously, then neighing ecstatically, then running by Little Creek, then running by the woman with Little Native American Girl, then stops with Rain with the tango music playing, then trying to go with the rope creaking, then thudding on the ground, then trying to go by nickering angrily, then the tango music continues playing, then nickering seductively, with the music and pause, then the strings flutter, then Spirit falls to the ground, whinnying, then squealing, then snorting. Spirit. Okay, I admit it, she was charming, in a stubborn, irritating kind of way, so I let her show me her world. Yeah, Spirit's into femdom. Looking at the children shouting playfully, then the sticks clatter, then speaking in native language, then laughing, then the dogs bark, then grunting, then nickering while looking at the horses, then painting a blue circle around the eye, then grunting curiously, then snorting, then Little Creek brings a bowl of paint, then kicking Little Creek, gasping, smearing from the eyes, groaning, then neighing laughter, then snorting. Little Native American Girl, giggling, babbling, horsey. He sniffs at Little Native American Girl, giggling, then touching the nose by stretching, then snorting, then falling to the ground, crying, and then hugging Little Native American Girl, giggling, then carrying her, then calling to the girl. Little Native American Girl, to Spirit. Bye-bye, horsey. He hears a soft grunt, then burring, then walking with Rain, then they eat grass by looking at the apple, then snorting softly, then nickering, then grabbing an apple, then eating the grass, then nickering happily, then taking the apple to Rain, then eating the apple, then nickering shyly, then whinnying gently, then they both walk down in a pond with dragonflies, then swimming, then hugging, then they both whinny by looking at a camp, then the eagle flies by screeching, then neighing at the eagle, then the eagle flies away, whinnying sadly, then neighing, then they both walk. Spirit. For the first time in my life, I felt my heart torn two ways. They both continue walking, then he takes a blanket. Little Creek. Hey, hey. Tries to get a blanket. No, give it back. Come on, Mustang. No, Mustang. Oh, come on. Oh, panting, then getting up, then taking a blanket. He nickers, then gasping, then putting a blanket around Spirit, then burring, then climbing on Spirit, then flying to the ground, grunting, then neighing. Spirit. I had to hand to that boy. He just wouldn't give up. Little Creek laughs, then whinnies happily, then he continues laughing, then guffawing, then whinnying at Little Creek's friends, falling to the ground, then sighing softly, then putting a hand on Spirit, with Rain looking at Little Creek and Spirit, then walking away. Little Creek. I'm never going to ride you, am I? And no one ever should. God didn't intend that. He nickers gently, then grabbing a blanket and a muzzle, then putting on the gate, snorting, then opening the gate. Little Creek. You can go. He nickers back. Little Creek. It's okay. Go. He walks out of the gate. Little Creek. Go on. Get out of here. He slaps Spirit's ass, running away. Go home. The melody continues playing by looking at Little Creek, then walking away, then going to the mountain, then going by Rain, then nickering invitingly, then fading the music, then Rain walks back, then walking by Rain, then they hug. Spirit. I knew this was hard for her, and that she was scared, but more than anything, I wanted to share my homeland with her. He hears a distant rumbling with the horses, then nickering nervously, then blowing the wind. Then Rain runs, by Spirit running. Then looking at the horses by Colonel by the group. Then they both walk down. Then they continue walking down. Then the men shout, by running by a group of horses by the teepees. Then knocking the man on the horse with Spirit. Then getting up. Then ripping the teepee by Little Creek and Rain. Then the men run, clamoring. Then running by the men. Then neighing. Then Colonel starts to fire the gun at Rain and Little Creek. Then firing at Little Creek and Rain by falling in the river. Then Spirit tries to get Little Creek and Rain in the river by swimming through a rock. Then he attacks Colonel, then running away. Then Rain in the river. Then starts by trying to get Rain out of the river, by running, then running in the river, trying to get Rain, then going underwater, then saving her by trying to get out of the river, then going down by a waterfall. Then they both fall down in a water. Then getting out of water, then panting by looking around. Looking at Rain, then running at Rain, then sleeping, then looking at Spirit, then they hug, then putting the head down, then groaning by Sharp, then she continues breathing, then whinnying in alarm, then hugging him, then neighing, then Rain gets up, then they hug. Spirit. I lay beside her that night, hoping, praying somehow she would be okay. He hears a distant whistling. Man. Hey, there's a couple of horses over there. Whistling. They continue hugging. Then the man clicks his tongue. Then shouting in the distance. Then the horse run by Spirit and Rain. Soldier 1. The lasso grabs Spirit. Hya! Ha! Soldier 2. Leave the mare. She's not gonna make it. He continues neighing, then neighing shrilly, then neighing frantically. Then the soldiers grunt with Rain sleeping. Soldier 1. Come on, come on. Little Creek looks at Rain sleeping, then walking at Rain. Oh, Rain. Oh. Hugs Rain. Rain groans. Okay, brief intermission. I think Rain got shot. I don't. My brain is scattered when I read this, but I'm pretty sure Rain got shot. She ain't doing, or she like fucked up her legs in the river. Little Creek, easy girl, easy. It'll be okay. He pets Rain. Soldier, come on, yeah. He clicks his tongue. Little Creek, you saved my life. Man, 2 more men on that brace. Collins, Evans, whistling. Bring it down. Let's go, Jackson. Hey. Grab a hold of that end. He hears a train whistle blowing. Man. Got it. This one's loaded. He carries Spirit to a train. Train pole foreman. I'm not going to hurt you. Come on. Takes the rope off. It's going to be okay. He looks at the horses, then blowing, then baffled grunting, then closing the door, then the train by going by Spirit in a cage, then looking at the horses, then looking, and then eating the hay, then taking the hay, then walking away, then laying at the wall, then going by trees by snowstorm. Then the train continues chugging with the snowstorm, by horses in a snowstorm, by running from mountains, then neighing, then horses go back in a snowstorm with the wind blowing at Spirit, then looking around, then the train continues chugging, then opening the door. Train pole foreman. Come on now. It'll be alright. Come on now. That's it. Takes Spirit, walking out of the cage, then looking at the men, then the men shout, then nickering. Man, let's go, come on. Spirit. I didn't know why we were brought here. What I did was we had to find a way to escape and get back home. Man. Clear. He puts the handle down on the TNT. Explosion. Man. No good, we hit bedrock. Railroad foreman. Well, that's it. We're hauling the steamer over the mountain. Man. That's crazy. Railroad foreman. We got 6 days to connect with Utah. We move out at dawn. Little Creek walks on the track, holding a bag, then pulling a hook on Spirit. Then they all lock. Ready to go. Hya. Move it out. The horses all walk. Man. Move it out. Spirit hears a panting snort by going to the mountain. Yeah, man. Yeah, whoa, get back in line. The horses continue walking by moving a train. Man, shouting, we're almost at the top, slow down up front. The horses continue walking, then the men make a railroad track. Spirit, that was the moment I understood. Horse racism was fucked up. No. They were headed to my homeland, and I had to stop them. The horses stop. Train pull foreman. Get back. Come on, get back in line. It's starting to slip. Whoa. Pick up the slack. Pick up the slack. Spirit lays down on the ground. Train pull foreman. Hold it. He touches the eye on Spirit. Get the mules up here. The man unites its Spirit, then putting the chair. Then putting the chain on the hoof by moving Spirit by dragging. Train pull foreman. Secure it on the left. Good work, boys. The hooves take the chain off. Then they all neigh. Hey, man. Hey, whoa, easy. Get 'em. Get 'em. The hoof kicks the chain in the lock. Man. Whoa! The horses try to go up with one chain and they all go away, then trying to break a chain and kick the lock. Then they continue going away, then neighing with a shrill. Man, hurry! Bring the poles! They all push the wood. Man, hurry! Throws a chain at Spirit. Hey, hold him here! Go! He goes away, and the gun fires at the wood, then running away. Man, they're breaking! Spirit slides down. Man, I can't hold it! Over here! Get out of the way! The train lays down on the ground with Spirit running away with a thunderous crash. Then he continues running away with a bark laying down, then crashing down to the ground. Then he continues running away, then crashing by the hill, then crashing down to the ground. Man. Holy! They both look at Spirit running away from a train, then crashing down on the ground. Then the men run, then crashing the building. Then the man runs away, then crashing at the train. Then the train explodes, and they both gasp. Then he continues running by the fire, then exploding the building with the fires on trees, then neighing, then running away by the fire, then jumping over. Then the fire starts burning everywhere, then looking at the log, then jumping over the log with the chain holding the log. Then Little Creek cuts the log, then whimpering, then getting up, then grabbing a chain, and the log with the fire falls on the ground. Then Little Creek and Spirit jump in the water, then swimming to Spirit, then grabbing Spirit, then laying on the ground, then getting up, sniffing. Spirit, I don't know where he came from or how he got here, but I was happy to see him. He looks around, then putting water in his hand. Then he continues putting water in his hand, then kicking Little Creek into the water, then neighing, then laughing. Then Spirit jumps in the water, then splashing at Spirit. Little Creek, woohoo! He runs with Spirit. Aha! Oh! Looking at Spirit. I knew I would find you. He walks to Little Creek, then putting the hand on Spirit. Colonel. How? The tongue clicks. I don't believe it. Little Creek. Go, 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 go! Run, run, run! The gun fires with Little Creek running away. Man. Come on, come on! The gun fires at Little Creek, groaning. Then he continues hearing gunshots, whistling, then crawling on the ground, then grabbing Little Creek by running along, then chuckling. Little Creek, woo-hoo! Laughing. They both hear gunfire by going through a canyon. Little Creek, yeah. They all go running through a canyon, then grabbing a stick, then putting a stick at the man, falling to the ground, laughing with a delighted neigh, then neighing. Soldier, yeah. The horse continues running, neighing, then jumping by a canyon rock, then going on Spirit, then chasing by a soldier, by hitting a rock, then gasping. Little Creek, whoa. Man falls to the ground with a boot rolling. Little Creek, that's it, come on, come on. He neighs while looking at the water, then yelling while riding by the man. Man, get off! Little Creek holds on Spirit with the mane, then kicking the man, then looking at a water. Little Creek, whoa! Soldier, yeah. The soldiers shout. Soldier, we got them now. Whoa, where did he go? There they are, up there. They look at Little Creek and Spirit going up, then looking down, then the gun fires at Little Creek and Spirit, then looking down. Little Creek. Oh, no. Spirit. Oh yeah! He runs, then jumping off a canyon by the sky, then shouting and whooping, laughing. Then they look at Little Creek and Spirit by going to a canyon while rolling over. Then they pant, then they both look at the men, then taking out a gun, then cocking, then uncocking, then nickering. Soldier. Yeah! Whistles. They both jump up, then neighing, then going on Spirit by running away by a canyon, grass, sky, then evening sky, then getting off a Spirit. Then they set the teepees back up, then hearing the birds chirping, then putting fires out at the Native American camp, my bad. Then whistling, then rain appears, then whinnying happily, then neighing, then Spirit runs at rain, then they neigh exuberantly, then hugging, then nickering lovingly. Oh, we're gonna get some fucking horse copulation, you know what I'm saying, gamers? Then nickering softly, then nickering, with Little Creek walking to Spirit and Rain, then nickering, then putting hands on Spirit and Rain, then hugging Rain, then nickers sadly. Little Creek, you will always be in my heart. I came here to kill you, Brock. No. Takes a feather pen, then whinnying gently, then hugging Rain. Take care of her, Spirit who could not be broken. Guys, we learned why he's now. Oh, we learned his name. He burrs gently, then hugging Little Creek with Spirit. Little Creek, I will miss you, my friend. Holy shit, are we at the end? The music swells gradually while hugging Little Creek. Spirit. I had been waiting so long to run free, but that goodbye was harder than I ever imagined. I'll never forget that boy. He neighs. And how we won back our freedom together. Last lines as he neighs, then Little Creek jumps up, whooping. Then they both run by, leaving Little Creek with the evening sky, the night sky, canyon, grass, trees, canyon, mountain, then neighing with an eagle flying. Then Spirit jumps up by looking at an eagle. Then they both run. Then they both look down at the horses, then neighing. Then Spirit runs at the horses by running around, then neighing, then walking at Spirit, then hugging Spirit, then neighing, then they all neigh, then they all run, neighing. Then they could both walk up to a hill with Rain, then they hug by looking at an eagle flying in the sky by the horse clouds. Okay, and that was a reading of a rough translation of the script of Spirits Dying to the Cimarron. If you want to hear more shit like this, or like you have any other ideas for for videos that are like easy to make, but I mean not necessarily like, you know, motherfucker, you're not the boss of me. Listen, yeah, this was fun. This was on one take. It is, holy shit, this took like 43 minutes. Time flies when you're having fun. I love you all, and I have wasted both of our time. If you want to follow along, it'll be in the bottom, although I guess you're already fucking listening to me, so eat a fat cock. Randy Quaid.